2:46 p.m. on March 11, 2011, the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, one of the largest on Japan's northeast coast, was running exactly as it should. Then, offshore, the ocean floor fractured. A magnitude 9.0 earthquake sent a violent seismic shockwave racing directly toward the coast. The instant the ground shook, the plant's sensors detected the tremors. Automated safety protocols immediately dropped control rods into the active reactors, instantly halting atomic fission. By every engineering metric, the facility survived the earthquake exactly as designed. But stopping a nuclear chain reaction does not instantly cool the core. The fuel rods inside remain incredibly hot, generating massive amounts of decay heat for days. To manage this temperature, the plant requires constant active cooling. Pushing that volume of water requires enormous pumps running on electricity. Even though the earthquake knocked out the external power grid, Fukushima's backup diesel generators kicked in immediately to keep those pumps running. This stable cooling was a deceptive plateau, a 41-minute window before an unanticipated threat reached the shore. Precisely 41 minutes after the earthquake, that temporary safety window closed as a massive tsunami reached the plant's shoreline. This diagram shows the fatal mathematical discrepancy. The plant's seawall was built to withstand a 5.7-meter wave. The incoming tsunami peaked at 14 meters. The water overtopped the concrete defenses, sending millions of gallons pouring directly into the facility's lower basements. These basements housed the backup diesel generators. The flooding drowned them, instantly plunging the facility into a total station blackout. The facility's final line of defense failed because the site's design did not account for an 8-meter gap in wave height. Without electricity, the cooling pump stopped. Residual decay heat began to build inside the cores, with nothing left to remove it. This cross-section illustrates the breakdown. Without circulating water, the liquid inside the reactors rapidly boils away, exposing the radioactive fuel rods. The fuel begins to melt from the inside out, generating immense pressure and filling the containment building with highly explosive hydrogen gas. This pressure buildup triggered massive hydrogen explosions, tearing the roofs off the reactor buildings and broadcasting the destruction on live television. This sequence of heat, pressure, and explosion repeated across 3 separate reactors lined up along the coast. These breaches began venting radioactive material directly into the atmosphere. As the radiation levels climbed, the government expanded evacuation zones, forcing over 150,000 residents to abandon their homes. A single engineering oversight at the seawall had escalated into a regional humanitarian disaster. While the public fled, a small core of workers, known as the Fukushima 50, voluntarily remained inside the dying plant. They worked in near-total darkness and extreme radiation, wearing heavy respirators and protective suits to buy the plant more time. Their work was manual and desperate, physically venting toxic pressure and pumping raw seawater into the cores to try and arrest the melting. Plant manager Masao Yoshida made a critical decision during the peak of the crisis, continuing the seawater injections despite direct orders from corporate headquarters to stop. When the automated safety protocols failed, individual human intervention became the only barrier preventing a far worse catastrophe. More than a decade later, the site remains an active cleanup zone, with decommissioning work expected to continue until at least the 2050s. The landscape is long defined by thousands of storage tanks built to hold treated radioactive wastewater, a logistical burden that continues to draw international controversy. Fukushima rewrote the global rulebook for nuclear safety, forcing engineers to design systems that account for multiple, simultaneous catastrophes hitting the same site. It remains a stark lesson in margins. A mere 8-meter gap in water height is the difference between an emergency that is contained and a disaster the world will manage for a century.